What's up? What's happening? Welcome to another edition of the Minor League Take. I'm your host, Brad Case, and this week on the podcast, we finally have Mark Washington after I promised you guys like 3 different weeks. Mark got drafted by the LA Dodgers back in 2017. He has absolutely been crushing it through the minor league so far with like a total of like a 3 ERA. He's 6'7", just like me, but he throws 95, 96, 97 miles an hour, and he throws absolute fuel with some dirty stuff. I can't wait to see what he's going to accomplish this year. He's definitely one of the more, he definitely has a similar story to mine where, most of high school it was like, didn't look too promising. Looks like he can play college baseball, and he goes to do that, and you'll see in the story as things just absolutely take off for him. So, yeah, please give the whole interview a listen, and let me know what you guys think afterwards. But as always, this is brought to you by More Than Baseball. More Than Baseball is an organization that's helping guys like me and Mark make it to the big leagues and achieve our dreams. They're here to help us out financially and with any other kind of issues that come along the road. So please give them a follow at mtb_org. Without further ado, here's Mark Washington.
Let's start.
What's up? What's happening? I'm here with Mark Washington today. My roommate, pitcher for the LA Dodgers. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Had a great day so far, so just happy to be here.
Always great to see you, Mark. So let's start where we start with everybody on the podcast. Give me an idea of what high school baseball was like for Mark Washington.
High school baseball was pretty rough for me. I'm not going to lie. I was trash.
Love
that. I didn't really touch 80 until my senior year at high school, so wasn't getting any attention from many colleges, really. Just kind of like growing into my body, understanding how to use my body.
I know how that goes.
Oh, yeah. So, it was a little rough. I went through a bunch of awkward patches with injuries and certain things where I was hindered from, like, working out and playing baseball. But I somehow found a way to make it work. So.
Yeah. So, most of high school, it sounds like, you struggled a little bit. Was it just kind of like trying to build that strength and catch up, and was that pretty much, the main kind of thing that hindered you?
Yeah, pretty much. I always threw strikes for the most part and got outs, but I just didn't throw hard. And then me being a kind of big frame, but just not having a lot of weight on that frame was pretty rough for me. So I know after my junior year in high school, going into my senior year, I forget. Oh, it was because one of my coaches, Marco Mena, one of his best friends, what's his name, Anthony Barbera, was a personal trainer. I went with him. Was it the summer in between my junior and senior year of high school, and worked out with him for the whole time in between the 2 years. And I put on 25 pounds of muscle. And then
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so I was 175, probably about 6'4", 6'5" at the time. And then that summer, I put on 25 pounds, so I got up to 200. And then after that, I started throwing harder. I finally touched 80.
Yeah.
And then I went to a Lehigh camp, summer camp.
This is your senior year, and you're still not committed yet, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I never committed technically, but at the time, I really didn't know where I was going to go for college. So I put on that 25 pounds of muscle and started throwing a little bit harder. Started getting attention from other colleges like Catholic University down in D.C. and then Penn State Harrisburg and Lehigh. So started throwing harder. Finally touched an 85 or 86.
Yeah.
Midway through the season, just velo was climbing. I know I was getting a lot of help from one of my teammates, Adam Seibert, and his dad. They were big into the weighted balls, and I kind of got on their program. They really helped me out with starting to throw harder. That kind of jump-started pretty much my career, because after that, I just started throwing really well. In my senior year, I had a pretty good year.
Things just started clicking more.
Yeah.
You could actually feel your body down the mound.
Exactly,
Stuff like that, yeah.
Because I could always throw strikes. So throwing strikes wasn't a problem. It's not that I couldn't control the ball. I just didn't throw hard.
Yeah.
So people could obviously hit me. But yeah, senior year had a great year. And then we have this thing called the Carpenter Cup in Philly, which is a lot of the high schools in the area. They make an all-star
It's
team.
like a tournament kind of?
Yeah, it's a tournament. And then if you win a couple games, you get to play in Citizens Bank Park, which is the Phillies stadium, which we didn't get there because one kid let up 11 runs in an inning or something, and we ended up losing 13-11. So we came back. Through there in front of the Lehigh coach, and he saw me, and they pretty much like offered me a spot there.
Yeah. Oh, right there.
Yeah, so they pretty much offered me a spot, but it wasn't like a national letter of intent. I didn't sign anything.
Yeah, it was just, hey, we got a jersey for you when you show up.
Exactly. Yeah. So I pretty much had a preferred walk-on spot there, and that's kind of what started my career. So nothing was set in stone. I just had to get in academically, obviously, which was pretty hard school to get into. But yeah,
it's funny though. Like we're both like tall, and we were both way skinnier back then.
I mean, I'm still pretty.
We're both still pretty skinny. Yeah. But it's just funny how you said that you threw hard, or you didn't throw that hard, but you threw a lot of strikes. I was the complete opposite. I would throw hard. I just had no idea where it was going.
Yeah.
But New York baseball, when you throw 85, that's considered hard. Mm-hmm. Even though Philly's still that northeast
kind of. Yeah. I had a couple of teammates that were in the 90s already, like junior year. So like, one kid went to Hofstra, another kid went to Penn. Yeah, they were pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, did you end up at Lehigh? You get there, and you don't pitch freshman year, right?
No, I pitched a lot freshman year actually.
Okay, then I couldn't find it on the website.
So I think I threw about like 40 some innings or something.
Okay, yeah, that's great as a freshman.
I had a lot of midweek starts. I didn't throw any in the like Patriot League games really.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I had a pretty good freshman year. I remember my first outing was down in Florida in our spring training trip.
Yeah.
I threw against I think it was Seton Hall was my first outing. I threw really well, and then that kind of helped me get into like a reliever / midweek starter role. And yeah, I kind of took that, and I think I had a complete game too in one of the midweeks against St. Petersburg. Not the best team, but
wait,
yeah.
Is that the team that's like lost like 50 games?
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that. But
hey, this CG's CG.
Yeah, CG 9-inning CG. I mean, I'll take it, but not against the best team. But yeah, no, I didn't have a bad year, and then we, as a team, we actually had a really good year. We won our Patriot League against Navy that year on Navy's field. And then we went to LSU and then played at Alex Box. Got to play against Bregman.
That's sick.
Yeah, so that was a great time, and I actually got in the back end of the Tulane game, which was the game that we got bounced. But I threw the last out.
Still kind of cool. Like you were there and you played at like that big D1 level.
Exactly. Yeah. So I got a little bit of taste of I guess baseball.
Yeah.
And what I could possibly do in the future, and then the real year that I kind of like progressed was sophomore year. So like after freshman year, got in their lifting program, kind of did my thing. I think I might have touched 90 for the first time as a freshman.
That's pretty exciting.
So yeah, big jump from 175 as a junior, breaking 80 to that next year, touching 90 a couple times here and there.
Was it kind of unbelievable when it happened, or were you I expected it?
I was happy, but like, I mean, putting all the work in, all the lifting, all the weighted balls, all the like
eating
the mechanical
more,
work, eating more food,
all the little things. Yeah.
I kind of knew it could happen at some point, and then from there on, like I kind of thought, hey, I might have a chance at like playing professionally, going to the next level. But
that's when that happened, when you first broke 90.
No, not when I first broke 90. The first time that I thought I had a chance at playing professionally was in my sophomore year, because I just had a really good year. I started as a reliever and worked my way into the starting rotation, kind of like late in the
couple spots here and there.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I just was throwing really well. Nobody was seeming to put up runs against me. I would get lucky here and there, like a lot, with just fielders helping me out in certain situations. But yeah, no, I threw really well. And then going to summer ball, I told my coach.
The NECBL, right?
Yeah, I told my coach I wanted to kind of branch out, because my freshman summer, I played like in a men's league around my house area, just so I could like work out and kind of get stronger and kind of just get some innings here and there. But yeah, no, sophomore year, I told my coach I wanted to kind of branch out and kind of go see if I can possibly play at the next level. And so I was playing against guys that were from TCU, Texas, and
all these big D1 schools.
Big D1 schools. So that was definitely a good marker to see if I could play at that level. And I did really well there too. I made that league's all-star team.
Shit, really?
Yeah.
This was 16.
16, yes.
Yeah.
So I threw pretty well there. Did well in the All-Star game, and then from there on, that's kind of when I knew I had a chance because I was just getting questionnaire after questionnaire after questionnaire.
So that's a big thing I like to talk about on here is like the if to when moment of like for a long time you go, oh, it'd be so cool if I got drafted, like that's everybody's dream.
Yeah.
But it's really cool when you finally get to say to yourself like, yo, when I get drafted, this is gonna be sick.
Yeah. So yeah, I really didn't think I had a chance. Like I've had people tell me that like you could definitely play at the next level, but like I didn't personally believe it. Like I didn't think so just because like I'm really hard on myself, and I just didn't think I had the chance or the possibility to do that. But then once I kind of threw well against other guys that
once you started tasting success against guys that are at that level, they're the highest of the high in college baseball. You're like, shit, I can ride with these guys.
Exactly. Yeah. So I kind of had that epiphany. And that was a great time for me because, I mean, that was just a great year in general. Threw really well. Like, pretty much everything was going right for me at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. And then, I mean, so you start getting all these questionnaires, you start getting excited, and now you're going into junior year, and this is the big year where, like, the draft is coming up. And did you start to feel nervous, excited, pressured? What was some of the things running through your head?
Definitely a little bit of pressure on my end that I probably put on myself too. Yeah. Just because I was a junior, I was supposed to be like the number one on the staff. Yeah. So I definitely tried to put a lot of pressure on myself. And going into that junior year, I had a rough start. Like I was trying to throw through an injury, just because like I hate taking time off. I'd rather throw through an injury and kind of help my team out. But throwing through an injury really doesn't help the team when you're hurt. Yeah. So I had a really bad outing, and then kind of took myself out of the game where I kind of got taken out. I can't quite remember, but found out I strained my UCL. Yeah. So like I couldn't move my arm past like here. Like it was locked. Like I couldn't lock it out. Yeah. So went to a doctor. They told me I strained my UCL. I had to take a couple weeks off, and then at that point, I was like middle of the season, I think. Actually, kind of beginning of the season, but
the beginning half still.
Yeah. So I was 2 weeks. I had 2 weeks no throwing, and then I was on anti-inflammatories just to get the inflammation down, and then I could start my throwing program back up and like build back up.
When that injury happened, did you start to go like, oh shit, like I'm gonna lose like this opportunity to get drafted?
Yeah.
Were you starting to think like senior sign is the way I have to go?
Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna get drafted at all after that, because I had a pretty good amount of people or scouts like in contact with me. I even had a meeting at Lehigh with the Rangers. Like I don't know where this guy came from, but he came to Lehigh and had a meeting with me and my coach. And I was like, damn, like I guess I might really get drafted.
Yeah.
But then I got hurt, and I didn't hear anything from any major league team. Like, stop getting questionnaires, stop getting text messages from scouts, stuff like that. And I thought, I was like, hey, I guess I'm gonna be staying here for the long haul and gonna get my mechanical engineering degree.
Which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
Not the worst thing.
But getting drafted as a junior is definitely the goal.
Definitely the goal. So went through that, came back healthy, ended up throwing against Army in one of our games that we needed to win to get into the playoffs. I threw pretty well, but gave up a home run or something. I think I was tipping pitches or they had assigned something. So
it didn't go great, yeah.
It didn't go great, but like I tried to come back because like I really had to give everything back to my team for being a little bit selfish and knowing that I possibly could be drafted and trying to throw through pain and stuff. So I had to give it back to my team. So that happened. I was trying to think, where was I? Talking about
junior year, the injury, the draft.
Yeah.
Moved into. I mean, is there anything else college-wise you want to talk about?
I'm trying to think. I had that good outing or interesting outing.
Yeah.
But then our season ended right there. Yeah, that's right. Our season ended there.
Yeah. And then at that point, you had like a 8-something ERA, right?
Oh yeah.
Which isn't great on paper, but
not great. No.
No, but I mean, it's only through 6 appearances, through some injuries, trying to come back and bounce back through some things. So I mean, I wouldn't say like an 8 ERA is really accurate of what that year would have looked like if you were healthy.
Definitely not. But yeah, so at that point, I had an advisor. That's what I forgot to talk. So I had an advisor. It really good guy named Joe Rosen. He's now my agent currently. But I got in contact with him through that All-Star game my sophomore year at the NACBL. So he kind of got in contact with some scouts, and then I think I got invited to a Dodger pre-draft workout and then a Yankee pre-draft workout, and they were like back to back and like spent 3 days. It was like there's 2 workouts in 3 days.
Yeah.
So the Dodger one was at LaSalle. I went there and I threw like really well. Well. Yeah, and they pretty much asked me like, "Hey, how much you want to sign for?" I told them, and I knew I might have a chance to get drafted now. It's like this was like my coming back after being hurt. Like I didn't think I was gonna have a chance at playing professional baseball at least that year, like getting drafted. So I threw really well there. I was like, wow, I have like a sliver of hope that I'm kind of hanging on to. Then I threw at the Yankee draft or pre-draft workout in where's that?
Where at Yankee Stadium?
No. It was the short season team.
Staten Island Yankees.
Yes. So I went there, through there, did okay, but like my arm was already hanging from a couple of days before because I just threw in that pre-draft workout with the Dodgers. So I mean, it was okay. They offered me like they said, yeah, we'll probably draft you, but it'll be like really, really, really late, and we'd rather see you play in the Cape, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
So I was like,
I've heard a couple of guys that have been offered that kind of deal.
Yeah.
Like one of my teammates, he got drafted out of high school, and they were like, "Hey, we'll give you more if you go play in the Cape." And he was like, "Nah, I'll just sign for X amount." And they're like, "All right, sure," and they signed him.
Exactly. It was the exact same thing because it happened to one of my other teammates too. But yeah, so that happened. And then leading up to the draft, like I was just super nervous.
Yeah, what were you thinking? Was it pretty much just Yankees or Dodgers?
Kind of, yeah. So that's pretty much all I thought.
Two great teams to like have in contention for you. Two of the best teams in baseball.
Exactly,
Two of the best
like,
franchises of all time.
Can't really complain with that.
You're like, damn, this is gonna be great either way.
So yeah, I was in contact with my agent too, or advisor at the time.
Yeah.
And he was kind of keeping me in the loop of what scouts were thinking, what the Dodgers were thinking, and so I pretty much knew going into the draft that I was going to get drafted, but they just didn't know like what round. They told me originally it was like the 20th through the 25th round or something, and then so going into that, I was actually at Lehigh with my dad. My dad came up to Lehigh. It was him and I in my room at Lehigh, and we were kind of just going through the draft. And you probably understand the draft. It's the most long, like boring process.
Sucks. Day one is cool because it's on TV.
Exactly.
Day two is like, all right, those guys are gonna get a decent amount of money. Day three is on a like not even it's like a conference call on a laptop.
I was looking on my laptop.
Yeah.
And they're just going through like pick after pick after pick, and it's like somebody on a microphone just like reading
like
the
Mark Washington
Dodgers,
drafts ID 3-4 whatever.
Yeah, exactly like that. So my agent told me it's gonna be within rounds. Like 20 through like 30 or something in that area. So we're obviously listening, and we know when the Dodgers are popping up every round. So like we're tuning in from the 20th round. Of course, like I think he told me like I got a call like right before it happened. He was like, "Oh yeah, they think they're gonna pick you in like the 23rd or 24th round." Yeah. So like we're like waiting.
You're starting to itch. You're starting to look.
We see Dodgers pop up. It's like with the 23rd pick, the Los Angeles Dodgers select, and it was like somebody else. Just like damn, okay. Me and my dad were like, all right, we got to wait again. So we're like on our phone or something, just like talking. Then the 24th round came in. Wasn't me. So I'm like, oh my God, like when is this going to happen?
Starting to feel the stress just building in your body.
So I'm like really nervous, like really antsy. It's really just him and I. Like, it's not like a big party or anything. It's
I was the same. I just wanted my family there. I didn't want people.
It was just my dad and I. And then so the 25th round came around, and I finally heard my name, and it was like a burden just like dropped.
It just all just washes away.
Yeah, like I hugged my dad. It was like a really good time. I was super happy, and I started getting like blown up. Like mad text.
Your phone
messages.
just starts shaking like crazy.
Mad text messages from people like people I didn't even know had my number, just saying congratulations, blah 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 blah. Like people I haven't even texted or talked to in years, just coming out of the woodworks. But yeah, no, it was a great time. And then luckily I was still at Lehigh. A lot of my friends and teammates were still there. So we went to one of my teammates' dads owns a restaurant kind of like in the area.
Oh, that's awesome. So you had everyone there together.
Yeah, so we all went there. My dad, teammates, had a great time. there's actually a shot, a weird story. So the dad was there, obviously, that owned the place, and he thought it was a good idea to name, there's a shot called the Washington Apple. And so if you go to the place called the Clubhouse, if you can ask for like a Mark Washington shot. And
dude, that's awesome. That's a great story.
It's just a Washington Apple shot, but like if you look at the receipt, it says like Mark Washington, which is hilarious. But like no one's ever gonna go there and like ask for a Mark Washington shot
unless you come back for some reason.
Unless I come back. Yeah, it was just like a weird thing.
That's still kind of sick to have
it's
named
funny
after.
Though, so that happened, and then right after I got drafted, I immediately got a call and said, "Hey, we're gonna have you out this Sunday." I think it was like on a Thursday or Wednesday or something like that.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, damn, I gotta get my stuff packed. So yeah, I flew out to Arizona, and I guess the rest was history.
Yeah, man, dude, that's awesome. That's such a stressful, shitty time. Like for myself, I hated it. I absolutely hated the week leading up, and then once I got drafted, I enjoyed it for maybe like 20, 30 minutes, and then I had the thoughts of like, holy shit, I have an even bigger mountain to climb right now with working my way through the minor leagues, trying to get to the bigs. Did you feel that too?
No, I was just kind of happy to be there.
You're just happy it was all over.
Happy. I was like, I guess they saw something in me. They wanted me. Just happy to be here. Like, where do I get started? I don't know.
Yeah, and now you fly out to Arizona and you start your time in the AZL, right?
Yeah, I started AZL. So originally, since I came off that strain UCL, they like took it easy with me. I really didn't get to throw in games immediately when I was there. Mm-hmm. They had me throw off the mound, throw a bunch of bullpens, make sure I was okay, which I loved. I was like, wow, I guess these guys really like care about me and want me to do well, want me to be healthy as well too. So came out of the pen. My first couple outings threw really well. Like as a reliever, I don't think I gave up a run in the AZL. I mean, but it's the AZL, it's pretty well.
It's still professional baseball.
Yeah, true.
You're going from a mid-level D1 to playing professional baseball and you're not giving up runs. Mm-hmm. There's a definite like huge mark of success in that. A
little bit, yeah. Yeah. This is me being hard on myself too.
Trying to be humble.
Exactly.
Trying your best.
Trying, but yeah, no, I was throwing well, and then they moved me into the starting rotation, which was good. But then like it just wasn't the same. Like I didn't have the same mentality as a starter as I was having when I was coming out of the pen. So like it was okay. I was still throwing well, but like I didn't have the same intensity.
Even though you were a starter in college, you kind of felt like it was a different animal doing it in pro ball.
Exactly. Like I would just try to like pace my way through games so I could throw longer. Yeah. But like that's not the way with pro ball. Pro ball, you like throw because they have guys that come out of the woodworks.
Yeah, you have to have your best stuff on at all times.
Exactly. So I didn't quite understand that, and so I talked to a bunch of coaches about that, like my mindset and leading up to the day or that day of, and leading up into the game, like my preparation and stuff like that. So I had to change a lot.
Yeah.
So that first year I actually had a really fun year. Played in the AZL. We only had in that time it's like a one game for playoff. There's no series. So I actually started that playoff game. Threw pretty well, came out the game with the lead, but then our team, we ended up losing. So I thought my season was over at that point. I packed up all my stuff, like I was ready. They gave me my flight. I had my flight going home, like I'm like happy, like get me out of Arizona.
You're like, I'm going, yeah.
Like, this heat is ridiculous. I want to go home. So I get a call at like 1 or 2 a.m. saying, hey, would you like to make a playoff push for the Ogden Raptors? And like, of course, what am I going to say?
Can't say no. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I want to go home.
Brand new to the organization. Yeah, you have to go.
Yeah, I still wanted to play baseball, of course. Like, you give me an opportunity to play, I'm going to go play. So I got that call. I was like, well, I guess I'm not going home. So I stayed in Arizona like an extra day. They got me a flight out to Utah. So I flew out to Utah, hopped in a locker room full of guys I have like never met before.
Dude, I've done that too, where I've gotten lucky enough to be promoted. In my first year where I didn't know anybody. It sucks when you walk into that locker room.
No, it's weird. Like you walk in there like a tall, lanky dude, and you're just like, "Yo, what's up, y'all?"
You're like trying not to piss anybody off.
Yeah, you don't want to. Yeah. My locker was like, it wasn't even in the normal line. It was like in the middle, like in the middle, like next to the table where we put our spread.
Yeah,
like, I was just so out of place. Like I'm a big guy, like long guy, like I'm all like in the locker, like all tiny and stuff. But no, I had a great time there. Like once I got there, they immediately clinched like a playoff berth. Like,
Yeah.
I hadn't even pitched yet. It was like the second day I was there.
Second day there, you're just popping champagne.
Popping champagne. I'm like, wow, this is cool. I guess.
Did it feel like you didn't deserve it? Cause
I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I didn't help them at all. Like,
just
I
there.
literally hadn't thrown an inning for them.
Yeah.
Popping champagne. Then I finally got to throw my first outing in that rookie ball. Actually, I didn't get out of the third inning. I threw 2 clean innings. I was like, okay, I guess I can do this.
Yeah.
Third inning, didn't get out of it. I was like, here we go. So I felt like I actually contributed a little bit, but I got shelled a little bit. Then we ended up going into the playoffs. That first series we won, pop champagne. Next series, I think it was 2 series. The next series we won again, pop champagne, and then we were in the championship.
Damn, dude.
So we had a good time.
You were this close to going home, and then now you're just popping champagne 3 times.
Champagne, yeah. Then we went up to Great Falls. I think it was Great Falls, the White Sox short season affiliate.
Yeah.
Played them. We had a 3-game series. We won the first game. Then we were kind of getting blown out in that second game. I actually threw some garbage innings. I wouldn't call them garbage innings, but I threw in that game. Closed it out, if you will. But we ended up losing. So we were 1-1. And then we had a big rubber match, game 3, which was sick. One of my good friends, I don't want to say good friend, but one of my friends, Justin Hoyt, closed it out for us.
Justin's gonna be pissed if he watches this. He's
know.
like, "Damn!"
He closed it out for us, and we actually got the dub. Won the
you guys won the championship in your first year.
Yeah, and then pop champagne again on their
Dude,
field.
that's unreal.
Had an awesome bus ride back. Like we ransacked this one random gas station on the way back and bought a bunch of 30 racks and got to drinking. All our coaches were saying words about the team, like how we've come so far. And I'm just sitting there like, I just got here.
You're like, dude, I just showed up.
I barely know you guys, but no, it was a great time. Couldn't ask
that's
for a better
fantastic.
organization. Yeah. And then while I was there, I got the invite to go to Instructs too. So while we were playing in the championship game, Instructs had already started. Mm-hmm. So I got the opportunity to go home for a couple of days, see family, because I didn't get that chance before or after the season ended.
Gotcha.
So I went home for 2-3 days, and then they flew me right back out to Arizona so I could pitch for Instructs. Had a pretty good Instructs, threw well there too. And that kind of set me up really well for the next year. And then next year, I had this random hand injury.
It sucks.
Yeah, random hand injury came out of nowhere called Raynaud's. So
it's called what?
Raynaud's.
Raynaud's?
Raynaud's.
What's Raynaud's?
So what it is, it's I'm really sensitive. My hand's really sensitive in cold weather, and it just stops. It stops.
Okay, now I get why you have that glove.
So it stops circulating, and when I pitch, it's pretty tough. So I'm going off of straight muscle memory. Sometimes I can't feel the ball.
Jeez.
Yeah, but it's kind of painful to throw with, but I've kind of dealt with it now.
Yeah.
Dodgers have really helped me out with it. But yeah, it kind of came out of nowhere. So I had to deal with that going into that next spring training. Didn't start where I wanted to. Had to go through extended.
Mm-hmm. What's that kind of like when you realize shit? I could be in here for the long haul when you go to extended, because a lot of people don't understand what extended spring training is.
Yeah, extended is rough. It's just AZ heat constantly on you. You go to practice at 12, or actually they're in the morning, but games are 12.
Yeah.
And it's about 110, and you got to do some sprints. You run some poles, and you're dying, and it's 110, 120. Yeah. And it's weird because you don't sweat either. You don't, while you're out there running, you don't sweat. But once you get inside and you're around moisture and AC, it's you're drenched.
Damn. That's not how Florida is at all. You're just
exactly
soaking
opposite.
wet the whole time.
Yeah. No, it's really weird though. But that was tough. That was a grind for sure. Then I went back to short season, threw well there, and then
is this the team that you went and won the championship with?
So I went back there.
Okay.
Threw pretty well, had a pretty decent year, and then I got called up to low A that year. This is 2018.
Yeah.
And then.
Is this when you started playing with Hags?
Oh yeah, I was playing with Hags in 2018, when we were in rookie ball. I think he came up later after me.
I gotcha.
I think. All the years are.
All right. Yeah. No. Sounds good. You got more.
Yeah. So I came up to low A.
Yeah, you get to move to low A full season. You're pumped because that's where you wanted to start the year originally, right?
Yeah. I think that's where I wanted to start the year, but I didn't know what was going to happen. Mm-hmm. I can't really tell. But yeah, so I got called up, and then that was a rough turnaround. So I forget where I was in Ogden, but I got another call like 2 a.m. or something. Like, hey, you gotta go up to Michigan. So I'm in Utah. I gotta go up to Michigan. I had to pack all my stuff up that night. I didn't sleep at all. Had to get on the flight like the next morning at 6 a.m. The only time I slept was on the plane ride.
Yeah.
So I slept on the plane, get to this small like airport in Michigan. There's no Uber, so I can't Uber to the place.
Can't Uber?
I can't Uber to the field. So I had to call one of my teammates. He had to come pick me up and like take me to the field.
Jesus Christ.
So I get to the field. I got to go through all this. Like they immediately give me a jersey. We have to take pictures. Like it's a beautiful stadium. I'm like, oh my god, this is sick. But like I get there, like say hi's. I gotta go put my jersey on. So when I pitch, they don't have like a random silhouette of my name and like, headshot. They have a headshot. Yeah. So I do all that. They give me a jersey, give me all this other stuff, and then I had to prepare for a game. And
were you able to pitch that night?
I had to pitch. So
they had you pitch that night?
I had to pitch that night. So I get in there. It's a 0-0 ball game in the 8th inning, or the 7th inning. And they go, "Hey, watch."
You're trying to take a nap in the
no, I mean, obviously I was ready. Like I was amped up. Like first time being there, first game, and I had to get loose. And I was like kind of like nervous. Like I haven't got any sleep. Like I'm ready to eat right now. So I get in there in the 8th inning, 0-0 ball game. Like it's a pressured situation. And believe it or not, as I'm like walking out to the bullpen, look to my right, there's just Roger Clemens just chilling there. So
what?
One of his sons,
Cody or Casey?
Either one, I forget who.
Who were you playing, the Tigers or the Blue Jays?
Tigers.
See, I just know that they're with them. I don't know who was with who. But it's Roger Clemens.
Yeah, so Roger Clemens is chilling by our bullpen.
Yeah.
So I see him, I'm like, oh God. And so I had to get loose I had a clean 8th inning, go back out there for the 9th, give up like back-to-back doubles or something, and then we're down 1-0. So I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like first time pitching at this place in front of the home fans, and I'm blowing the game. Yeah. So I ended up losing, and it was just a different.
You had a lot thrown at you really quickly.
Yeah, it was like different atmosphere, but like I obviously expect better out of myself. Like I don't expect to give up runs in pressure situations. Like that's just not why I'm there. I'm there to get out.
If you can go back now to that situation, like how would you have told yourself to prepare differently for that? Because that's a hard spot to be in.
Definitely a hard spot to be in. The only thing I would think would be just to have better 0-2 pitchers. Like I kind of remember that outing. Like I would get guys 0-2. Yeah. And then back in rookie ball, like the guys weren't obviously just not as good.
You just wind up and throw that 95 miles an hour with it.
Then I didn't have that then. I didn't have that then.
You didn't have that then?
I was like 89, 90.
Oh, you're just like me.
Yeah, I was like a normal right-handed pitcher.
Yeah.
And so I would just get guys 0-2 and then like try to like bury a slider for a strikeout pitch, and I would just like hang it, and then they bang it, of course, but like. Back in rookie ball, you hang a slider, they might foul it off.
Or swing through it.
They're not going to do damage with it. So these guys are doing a little bit more damage with the ball, with the bat, and I just wasn't used to that yet. So I kind of got lit up a little bit. But yeah, so that was like a good learning point. Finished the rest of that year. I didn't throw too bad. I threw pretty well. And then that was like the rest of my year. I think we actually ended up going in the playoffs that year. So I think I got called up, and I think 2-3 days later, pop champagne again, because we clinched. So like I guess every time I get called up,
this is a casual thing for you.
Yeah, we pop champagne.
Dude, I don't think I've played in a playoff game since summer ball after my freshman year of college.
Really?
I haven't played in a playoff game. Because in college we were bad, and then pro ball we haven't been good enough to make the playoffs yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I guess we're lucky because we're always in the playoffs, like always in the playoffs.
The Dodgers are always in the playoffs.
It's weird when we're not in the playoffs. But yeah, no, our organization, our coaches, everybody's just great, and we're all working towards one goal, which is to win a championship, obviously, and obviously get better with development. But yeah, had a good year there. That was 2018, right? Yeah, it was
2018.
And I was kind of set myself up for. The next year in 2019. Yeah. 2019 started out pretty good. Working through some mechanical issues. I was starting to understand how to throw with my hand being cold all the time. One of my trainers, Jesse Guffey, he ordered me this glove, it's literally a heated glove. It's got like 3 different settings on it, like low, medium, and high. And I have it in the bullpen with me, and it just keeps my fingers warm. And in the dugout, so in between innings, I got to put that thing on because, like, literally,
especially in Michigan when you're there in April,
it's cold. Yes. Yeah. So you can physically feel like my left hand is completely normal, and then my right hand is just cold all the time, and it's got to be a pitching injury because
nuts.
The 2 fingers that come off my fastball the most are the 2 worst fingers. Like when I got tested originally, they had those like light sensors that they put on.
Yeah.
Get your
heartbeat, oxygen levels, whatever.
They thought it wasn't working. So they put it back on my left finger, and it was working completely fine, and they put it back. And so I guess I have a flatline pulse in my...
you have no pulse?
Yeah, just that flatline in my index finger. And it gets better as it goes down. But yeah, like...
That's
my
weird.
hand
That's
doesn't work.
fucking weird.
Yeah, it's really stupid.
Yeah.
So yeah, 2019, set up for another good spring training. Was throwing pretty well, actually. And then... I think I was throwing against the Brewers. We had a perfect game going into like the 7th inning. I threw 3 perfect innings.
Yeah.
And I had a set pitch count, but since we were throwing really well, like I didn't get to that pitch count, so I had to throw some pitches in the bullpen to get to my pitch counts to build up because I was a starter at that point. And in the pen, like after I threw my 3 innings, my first like throw, I guess I was down off the adrenaline or whatnot, like I felt my side just like give out.
Oh no.
And like I was like, ooh, like I grunted. Our coach was like, yo, Wash, you good? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Like I threw the rest of my 10 pitches, probably throwing like 70 miles an hour. Fuck. And he was like, yo, you don't look good. I'm like, yeah, like my side just like kind of gave out. So turned out I strained my oblique, and that was like a week, if that, before we were about to break.
Yeah.
And so like I was all to be a starter and be in the rotation going to Great Lakes or Low A that year, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like just ready to go.
You're like, I just got to get out of here, and then this injury will be fine.
And then I just got hurt, so couldn't do anything with that. I had to go to rehab.
Such a bummer. Yeah.
I had to stay in Arizona, go to rehab, go to extended. But then going to rehab was kind of a blessing in disguise. So this is what
that I was gonna ask. I was like, we gotta make sure we touch on that.
Yeah. So Sherman oblique. Went over the big league side. Started working with the guys over there. It's still the same training staff, but they really helped me out. And I kind of worked with one of our trainers, Stoney, and he kind of helped me like rethink how to use my body, how to use my lower half. Because I thought I was using my lower half, but I really wasn't. And he kind of just helped me rethink using my body and how everything's like a chain and just
it's all one consecutive
moving down the mountain. Just helped me rethink about everything mentally. And so I felt great. I felt awesome. Finally got healed, was healthy. And my first outing back from my oblique strain, I hit 97, I think, for the first time.
What was the hardest you had thrown before that?
Before that, I think it was like a 5, like 95.
Okay, so it wasn't
a consistent. Like I might be like 91, 93, and like maybe touch a 4 or 5 here and there. But like it wasn't like a consistent. Like I knew there was more in the tank, but like I just couldn't find it.
But you show up after this injury and you pop 7.
Yeah, I hit 97 like a couple of times, and then that kind of opened my eyes, and then opened up like I guess like other people's eyes to like, wow, we might have something here.
Yeah.
So, that happened. I continually was like just throwing there. It wasn't just like a fluke. Like I was continually throwing that hard, and I guess kind of throwing strikes too. But I was more so getting people out. So I was throwing well, and then went up to Great Lakes again. They sent me back to Low A. It was just where they just didn't have a space. It was just a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
they moved pieces to get me there. So I went back to Low A, and believe it or not, the second day I got there, popped champagne because we clinched a playoff berth. So that was fun. I got there, had it thrown.
Hold on, and how do you pop champagne? How many times in Pro Bowl?
Every year. I don't know
like how many times every year.
Probably not 4 times every year, but
4 times your first year.
Yeah, like 3-4 times the first year, and then like once or twice.
And then again when
Right. So we get there, pop champagne. We were at Lake County.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I get there. I think we won the game, and then pop champagne. Yeah. But then I pitched the next day. That was my first outing. Threw pretty well. And then the rest of that year, I had a decent year. I went through a really rough patch where I was just like doubting myself. Just wasn't throwing with conviction. Wasn't throwing with confidence. And I think my ERA went from like a 0 pretty quickly right up to a 6. So my ERA was at a 6, and I was just getting reamed out by everybody, coaches, like get your head out of your ass, like. And I was telling myself, like, I need to figure it out or I'm just going to get released. Like, it doesn't matter if you can throw hard. Like, you got to get outs and you got to throw strikes. You got to throw to your plan, like, execute your plan, or you're just going to get shelled and you're going to get bounced and you're going to get released. Not be playing pro ball anymore. So, like, that was all going through my mind and just doubting myself. Like, is my hand, like, am I going to be able to throw well with my hand and blah, blah, blah. Like, I had a lot of thoughts going through my head. And one of our pitching coordinators came down, kind of lit a fire under my ass, excuse my language, lit a fire under me, and then another pitching coordinator came and then kind of gave me like a plan. He pretty much told me,
what was his plan?
I'm not going to say my plan, just for any of these hitters out here that are, that are watching, you know, I don't want you to know my plan.
Yeah.
But yeah, he gave me a plan. And like that day, we kind of worked on it in a bullpen before a game, and like everything felt good. So like I was like, okay, I guess let's just go out this play and go attack hitters this certain way, and see what happens. And so that day, I threw 3 perfect innings, had like 7 punchies in those innings.
3 punchies in 7 innings, or sorry,
no, 7 punchies in 3 innings.
Yes.
Yeah, and then 3 perfect innings. Like I threw. Like
just
possibly,
shoved,
the
dominated.
best outing I've ever had in my life. Just threw really well, and I was like, "Wow, I guess I can pitch again."
All right.
So I stuck with that plan through the rest of the year, and I think I had like 19 or 20 straight scoreless innings. Like I was throwing really well. Got my ERA down from that 6 down to like a 2 something, or like there was like a 2 something.
Yeah.
And I was just throwing really well. Like I was in the groove. At that time, I was working on the curveball, but I simplified that, cut that out, because that would have been my 4th pitch. So I was just only working on 3 pitches, just fastball, changeup, slider.
Yeah.
Worked with our R&D guys, Ryan Denick, and really helped me out, and our other pitching coach, Luis Mesa. Like everybody in the organization just helped me out. And that's kind of why I love being a Dodger, is because everybody's there to benefit you. Like if you ask for help, if you kind of reach out, like they're gonna
find a way to help you.
They're gonna find a way to help you and better you, as long as you put the effort in the work in. So I did that, and everything was clicking. I was just doing really well, and finished the year with like a low 3 ERA.
That's exactly what you want. That's what you had every year of a Pro Bowl, a low 3, which is, I mean,
it's not the worst, not the best, but not the worst.
I would say that's great. I would say that's like, if you continue to do that, it's gonna be hard for a team to take your job away. Exactly.
So I was putting myself in good situations, good opportunities, and I was making the most of it. Yeah. And then going into that leads right into 2020, before pre-COVID. Yet again, throwing really well in spring training. Like Stavilo was still there. I was throwing strikes with 3 different pitches. Just kind of trying to develop a slider, like a harder slider, because my slider just wasn't getting it done. So I was just trying to hone in and maintain master my 3 pitches. Yeah. And so I was feeling really great. Like, this is my year. I think that was the year right before going into my Rule 5 draft. So I knew I had to have had to have a great year.
Yeah. For people that don't know what a Rule 5 draft is, it's basically, it's a way that if you're a stud minor leaguer, it's a way for an organization to not be able to stash you away in some random team. It gives other teams an opportunity to pick you, steal you, and either put you in the big leagues or put you on the 40-man. Either way, you're not going to get paid like an actual person instead of an intern.
Instead of an intern, You know, the $2.22 an hour, kind of what we one of our teammates we calculated that based on the
me and JoJo came to like $3.15 once.
The amount of time that we're at the field and how much we get paid, it's like $2.22 an hour.
But anyways. Last year would have been going into Rule 5, which is monumental. It could change your life forever.
Exactly. So I'm like, I need to have a good year. Yeah. I spent my whole offseason at Cressy, like the past 2 years at that point, like I put myself in a really good opportunity, really good place to potentially get Rule 5 or whatever. I don't know. We don't know what would happen, but I put myself in a really good opportunity, a really good position. And then all of a sudden, like I got there early. I got there February 2nd, and then spring training doesn't, for us, the minor league doesn't start until like early March or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
So early March comes around, and we get a text message like, "Hey, spring training's like gonna take a pause, and we're gonna have you guys stay in the hotel, but we don't know what's gonna happen."
Yeah,
blah, blah,
the
blah,
world
blah.
starts to end.
Yeah, the world starts
to
end.
Year ago, what, Friday or Saturday?
Something like that.
Something like that.
But yeah, like I was throwing really well. I was at that point we were only throwing in camp games, like against teammates, and I was like ready to throw against someone I didn't know, and like I could really compete against. And like I was scheduled to throw against the Indians too, that next day, and then we got that text message, and I was like, oh no, and then so that got canceled, and then they sent everybody home. And at that time, I was living with a couple of my teammates in like an Airbnb. So I technically didn't have to go home until my lease there was up. So I was like, I'm gonna chill here. Like I don't want to go home because back home I had a couple my family members would be at risk. So I didn't want to like potentially bring anything back home to them and then put them in a situation where like
you figured you just stay with guys that are younger like you. And
exactly.
It was just
stay there. Yeah. Maybe find a gym or something. Maybe they open up Camelback Ranch, which is our spring training facility. Maybe they open that up, and we can go. Like we can work out.
Get your stuff.
But that time was a grind. So it was pretty much me, Kieran Lovegrove, Brett DeGus, Josiah Gray. Yep. Dustin May was there a lot, but because he's a big leaguer, he could go to the facility from time to time when they opened it. It was Tony Gonson was there a couple times, but it was just a group of guys. And I didn't have a car, so thank God for good guys like Brett DeGus and Kieran Lovegrove and Josiah Gray. They all like kind of helped me out. Yeah. And we would go throw in behind the Arizona Cardinals football stadium. They have tailgating lots, like just flat grass.
That's awesome.
We would go out there. We'd throw there. Then a couple of our strength trainers lived in the area.
Got you guys some weights.
Yeah. I mean. Some stuff. Yeah, we would literally go to one of our trainers' houses and lift in their backyard, like around their pool. They had one of those dumbbells.
I know what you're talking about with all the clippable weights. Yeah.
We would do stuff there. They had bands. And
dude, I've heard so many weird setups people had last year.
Yeah, makeshift setup, and then one of the trainers there, Noah, he actually found a gym for us. So. Me and Brett, I think JoJo went there a couple times, but we would just go to this gym, and that was like kind of like low key. Couldn't have there had to be a certain amount of people that were in the gym, like because COVID, you had to regulate how many people in there. So you go in there, you have to wait to get in the gym. But yeah, thank God for that gym. So we found that, and then across the street, like in the same area, there was this other place called D-Bat, and a couple of our like Dominican guys, Hispanic guys, like international guys would go there and throw. So it was like all in the same area. So we had that gym, and then we realized we could throw
there and then go lift.
Exactly, throw there and go lift. So we had like a pretty decent setup.
That's pretty great.
And then thank God the Dodgers were like housing me too in our hotel.
Yeah.
So another point, Dodgers the best organization ever because they were just like paying for me to stay in this hotel.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to go home and bring anything to my grandmother. Potentially, so I just didn't want to. I didn't want there possibly like the airport being bugged or whatever. And me get something and bring it back to them. So I stayed out there. I stayed out there for a while, and then got the opportunity to throw lives with this gym. Like we would find a random high school field, and we'd all go throw live. And there was a lot of minor league guys there, guys from the Mariners. Just like a bunch of people.
One of my Rockies buddies was out there, and like I saw some video of them like doing like weighted balls against like some random fence in like a neighborhood. Yeah. Like there's just shit everywhere like that there.
Yeah, so we were out there for a while. I mean, I was there for a while, pretty much like a whole season.
Yeah.
I never stopped throwing. Like I was. If baseball came back at any point, like I was ready. I was ready to go. So I just wanted to make sure I was ready just in case because I knew if I went back home. I probably
You
wasn't
weren't
going to
have the same
throw.
training opportunities.
Yeah, I wasn't going to have the same training opportunities, or probably wasn't going to have like a throwing partner or anybody to throw with, like anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of stayed there, like lifted. It just kind of sucked, like being stuck in a hotel by myself for a while, just in my thoughts, and kind of wasn't good for me. But then I got a roommate, Braylon Jones. Love him, good guy. Thank God he came, because I would have been going insane.
Yeah, you living with you for a month, I could tell you love having people around.
Yeah, I like having people
I'm the same way.
But yeah, so I was happy he came, and then we started working out together too. But then that point, they Dodgers had to ask the MLB. Like, I was the only American there for a while, because everybody went home. So I was the only American there, and then they finally opened up the facility for those international guys.
Yeah.
But then they kind of allowed me to go. I think they checked the MLB or something. But the MLB thought, because that was at the time when they had the alternate site, they thought the Dodgers were hiding me to send me to the alternate site. But I'm just like, no, like, I'm not going to the alternate site. I just need a place to work out.
Yeah.
Because I'm stuck here. I don't have a car, like anything. Like, I need to get shuttled there. So yeah, I was stuck there. Thank God they allowed me to go and to throw there. And for a while, I couldn't even go in the weight room. I had to go. I could go to the facility.
Yeah.
I could throw outside, but like, I couldn't lift. I couldn't do any of the other stuff that all the international guys could do. So they were all lifting and everything. So I just kind of chilled there. Yeah, it was really frustrating.
At what point, like, I did the same thing. I kept going the whole time. I was literally in my garage at one point, like lifting a log, like to try to work out. I had no choices. New York was completely locked down because it was so bad in our area.
Yeah, I know New York was bad. That's why JoJo couldn't get back.
Yeah, exactly. JoJo was lucky he got to stay out there.
Yeah.
I think it might have been legit like the end of June before I realized, like, all right, I'm not going to play any kind of baseball this year. Like, I really held on to hope that whole time.
I did too.
Yeah.
I was holding on to hope, and I was just ready, just waiting for them to be like, oh yeah, hey, you guys can come back. And we're going to try to restart this thing up again. But obviously that never happened.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I stayed out there until, it was like late August, September or something.
Damn.
So I was there
for a long time.
I was there the whole time, yeah.
And then you get down here right around then?
No, so I went back home, and I stayed home for about a month.
Yeah.
Didn't touch a baseball. Just kind of wanted to be with family, be with friends, like relax, kind of decompress. I live with my buddy Sean. I always live with him when I go back home, and kind of stayed there, had a good time, and then took a month off from like any baseball stuff. I just took a month off from it, but I still worked out a little bit here and there because I felt like I was getting fat. So then yeah, October rolls around, drive down to Florida, take the auto train.
And then you've been training here ever since, right?
Been training here ever since in this beautiful home. Like, got blessed to find this place. Had my boy Baker here. You know, I was living with him. It was just me and him for a while. Then we had a couple other tenants. Got to live with Mike Brasso. Really good guy. Love him. Just met a bunch of guys here. Had a really good off season. Then met you. Yeah. And then teammate Hags joined me too. So
yeah. And now we're just a couple weeks away from going to spring training.
Yeah, a couple weeks away.
2021. What's something you want to like really accomplish this year?
I mean, something I really want to accomplish. I just stay healthy. Like, I know if I'm healthy, I know I'll be able to go out there and throw well. Yeah. Because I know how my stuff
You've been
is
throwing
good enough.
awesome so far.
Exactly. So I just know I need to stay healthy and, like I said, put myself in those positions and those opportunities to keep like moving my way up in the organization and just show them that I'm like I know
you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about it the other day. We were watching some spring training games, and we said like we're watching guys that we play with and play against.
Exactly.
And it's we're like we see them playing, we're like, damn, like if they're out there in that game, we know that we can hold our own against them.
Exactly.
And they're 100%. Doing decent. So I'm just excited to see, guys like you when you finally get your opportunities. And it's been fun watching guys like that we know, like JoJo, get their opportunities.
Yeah.
Because I think
killing it too.
Yeah. So I think that time's coming for all of us where we're all gonna finally get a big shot to impact the game.
Oh yeah. Can't wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
So the last two questions I'd like to ask everybody is kind of close out here. When are the Dodgers winning the World Series with you, Mark Washington?
Ooh, with me, Mark Washington?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's a great question.
Because they just won the World Series last year. So
we did. That we did. Shit, I'd like to say this year. I don't know. I don't know, man. Whenever I get the opportunity to get up there, I'd love to help the club, help the organization. Yeah. But obviously,
they're a team that I could see them winning the World Series the next 3 years.
Exactly. We're always in the playoffs, always there, always playing for the World Series. So, yeah. I'd love to say this year, but that all depends on how I do and my results and me being healthy.
How things shake out.
Exactly. Yeah. Because I know our organization's stacked. We have guys all over the organization that could obviously help the club and throw in the big leagues.
Yeah.
It's just kind of me taking advantage of the opportunities I'm given and kind of rolling with it.
Awesome. And then last question I ask everybody. If there's any advice you can give 16-year-old Mark Washington, what would you tell him? And don't say what you said to me earlier.
Any advice I could give myself? I don't know. I'd probably say trust in the Lord. Kind of stay.
There's a plan.
Yeah, there's always a plan. But yeah, my dad always says he has the 3 P's: the pray, plan, and pursue. So I'd kind of stick to that. Don't chase girls. And just kind of
don't chase too many.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no. And just eat more food. Eat a lot of more food.
Thanks for coming on, Mark.
Yeah,
where can everyone find you on social media?
You can find me on IG at Marky MRAK. I spell it really weird. Or Twitter. I think it's like Marco Polo or something. I'm sure you could tag it in the
video. Yeah, I'll put it in the video.
But yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for coming on, man.
No, thank you for having me, brother.
Cool.
Thank you guys again for checking out another episode of the Minor League Take. It's been a pleasure bringing you guys these episodes, and just keep on, coming back every week, and I'll keep on bringing out these interviews as spring training rolls around. I can't wait to, get started, and, be able to interview all my teammates in person and, keep this thing going every single week. If there's anyone specifically you guys want to hear from, please reach out, let me know who you'd like to see. You can find this page on Instagram and Twitter at MILBTake and at the MILBTake, as well as you can go follow me at Brad_Queso. Please go follow along and, stay up to date on all the new episodes coming out. Next week, we're going to go to the indie ball route, a little bit different, and we're going to go talk to Wes Albert. Wes Albert is a guy, from my area, so keep an eye out for that episode next week. But that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Thanks, you guys, again for checking out another episode, and I'll see you next week.